under the bruised orange sky of a Los Angeles evening. Detective Marcus Hill stood motionless beside the yellow police tape that fluttered in the dry wind. The alley behind him was narrow, slick with rain and oil. Ahead, beneath the pale shimmer of flashing lights, lay LaShonda Pierce, her body still, her beauty silenced. Marcus's breath hitched, but his expression remained fixed. The murmurs of officers, the clicks of cameras, the distant hum of traffic, they all blurred together. He saw only her, LaShonda, the woman he'd once loved, the woman he'd once promised to protect. Now she was another name in a case file, and the irony of it was unbearable. Detective Elena Cruz approached quietly, her face soft with concern. "Marcus," she said gently, "I can't imagine what you're feeling right now, but you shouldn't even be here. The captain's worried you're too close to this." Marcus didn't look away from LaShonda. "She's dead, Elena. Someone did this to her. If I walk away, who's going to care enough to find the truth?" Elena hesitated, then nodded. "Then let's start there." According to the initial report, neighbors had heard shouting around 9 o'clock. The corner store's security camera caught LaShonda's car pulling into this alley at 9:17 p.m. No one saw her leave. There were no signs of robbery, just violence. Brutal, deliberate violence. Marcus crouched near the body. He noticed faint bruising around her wrists, defensive wounds. "She fought back," he murmured. Back at the precinct, he couldn't shake the image from his mind. LaShonda had left him years ago, after too many arguments about his obsession with work. But even after the divorce, she'd found ways to stay in touch. Birthday texts, short check-ins, quiet dinners where old emotions hovered just beneath the surface. She was strong, brilliant, stubborn. And now she was gone. Her phone was recovered at the scene. Marcus studied the log. 5 missed calls from an unknown number, all within the hour before her death. A 6th came just minutes before she died. The text message that followed chilled him to his core. "You said you'd come alone. If you don't, I'll make sure the truth comes out." Elena leaned over his shoulder. "The truth about what?" Marcus's jaw tightened. "That's what I'm going to find out." The phone number traced back to a burner, registered under the name Ronald Keene. The name sent a spark through Marcus's memory. Keene had been an informant years ago, before turning to petty crime. A man who lived in the shadows and sold information to the highest bidder. They found Keene hiding in a roach-infested motel off Sunset Boulevard. When Marcus and Elena burst through the door, Keene nearly dropped his phone in terror. "Whoa, hey, I didn't do nothing," he cried, hand in the air. Marcus pinned him to the wall. "You talked to her 6 times the night she died." "Start talking, Keene." "I swear, man, I didn't touch her." Keene sputtered. "She came to me, said she had something big, something that could blow the city wide open. Wanted my help meeting some guy named Curtis Malone. I told her not to mess with him, but she wouldn't listen." Elena's brow furrowed. "Curtis Malone? That name sounded familiar." Marcus froze. Of course it did. Curtis Malone, a polished, untouchable criminal who ran half the illegal trade out of Long Beach. Marcus had built a case against him 5 years ago, but Malone had slipped away thanks to insufficient evidence and a few well-placed bribes. Marcus stared Keene down. "Where is he?" Keene hesitated, sweat glistening on his forehead. "Warehouse near the docks." "But you didn't hear that from me." "The guy's dangerous, detective. He'll kill anyone who crosses him." That night, Marcus sat in his apartment staring at an old photo. Him and LaShonda smiling under fireworks at the county fair. She had been his light when everything else was chaos. And now that light had been snuffed out. He poured a shot of whiskey, but didn't drink it. Instead, he whispered to the photo, "You went after Malone, didn't you? You just couldn't stay away from the truth." By dawn, Marcus was behind the wheel, the sun just breaking over the Pacific. The drive to Long Beach was quiet except for the crackle of his police radio. Elena's voice broke through the static. "Marcus, wait for backup. Don't do this alone." He switched off the radio. "I can't wait." The warehouse was a decaying husk of steel and shadows. Marcus moved inside, gun drawn, flashlights sweeping across dusty crates. The air smelled of salt and old machinery. On a table, he saw stacks of cash, documents, and photographs. Photos of LaShonda meeting with someone at a diner. Photos of her car. Surveillance shots. Then he heard it. Slow, deliberate footsteps. Well, if it isn't Detective Hill. A smooth voice echoed from the darkness. Still chasing ghosts. Marcus turned to see Curtis Malone stepping into the light, dressed in an immaculate suit, his smile thin and cold. "You're trespassing, Detective. You planning to arrest me again? You didn't do too well the first time." Marcus kept his gun raised. "You killed her." Malone chuckled. "You always did think in black and white." "No, I didn't kill her. She came to me with something she shouldn't have had. Evidence. Proof that could ruin more than just me. But she was naive. She thought she could bargain." "What did she have?" Marcus demanded. Malone's grin widened. "Ask yourself that, Detective. She was your ex-wife. Maybe she found something about you, too." Marcus felt a cold weight in his gut. "Don't play games with me." "Oh, but I love games," Malone said, circling him like a shark. "You see, LaShonda thought she was doing the right thing. She always did. But she trusted the wrong people. She trusted you." Marcus barely had time to react before two armed men emerged from the shadows. Bullets tore through the air. He dove behind a crate, firing back. The thunder of gunfire filled the warehouse. One man fell. The other fled. When the smoke cleared, Malone was gone. Marcus stumbled outside, clutching his shoulder. A grazing wound, nothing fatal. Police sirens wailed in the distance as Elena's car screeched to a halt. "Damn it, Marcus!" she shouted, rushing to him. "You could have been killed." "He was here," Marcus said through gritted teeth. Malone was here. LaShonda had something on him, something that scared him. 2 days later, Malone was captured during a sting near the border. His lawyers protested, but the evidence was overwhelming. Inside LaShonda's car, investigators had found a hidden compartment, a small flash drive with financial records, shipping manifests, and photos linking Malone's operation to city officials. It was the file LaShonda had died to protect. The case made national news. Detective's ex-wife exposes major corruption scandal before her death. Reporters swarmed the precinct, but Marcus kept his head down. He didn't care about fame or headlines. He cared about truth. One evening, Elena knocked on his office door, holding a small envelope. "This was found in LaShonda's apartment," she said quietly. "It's addressed to you." Marcus stared at it for a long moment before opening it. Inside was a folded note, her handwriting neat and familiar. "Marcus, if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it. But I need you to know that I forgive you for everything. I never stopped believing in you, even when you stopped believing in yourself. The truth matters, Marcus. Promise me you won't let them bury it again. Love always. LaShonda." Marcus closed his eyes, her voice echoing in his mind. The city lights blinked beyond the window, cold, distant, but alive. He placed the letter gently in his desk drawer beside his badge. Elena lingered by the door. "You okay?" He managed a faint smile. "No, but I will be." She nodded. "She'd be proud of you." "I don't know about that," Marcus said quietly. "But I think she'd be at peace." The next morning, Marcus stood at the edge of the pier overlooking the harbor. The ocean stretched endlessly before him, calm and merciless. He held LaShonda's letter one last time, then let the wind take it, watching it drift out over the water until it vanished. In the distance, the first rays of sunlight touched the horizon, bathing the sky in gold. Marcus slipped his badge back into his coat pocket and turned toward the city that never slept, a city full of lies, secrets, and unfinished stories. But for the first time in years, his heart felt still. "Rest easy, LaShonda," he whispered. "I finished what you started." And with that, Detective Marcus Hill walked away, the sound of waves fading behind him, ready to chase the truth again, no matter where it led.